What's going on, guys? Today's video, a bunch you've been waiting for. I'm going to see how long it takes the 2024 Canadian World Junior team to win a Stanley Cup. Obviously, this year's team is a bit of a disappointment going out in the quarterfinal to Czechia, but they have a chance for redemption here. See if they can eventually win a Stanley Cup in NHL. This is actually the fourth time doing this video. The best the team has ever done is taking 6 years to win the Stanley Cup, which both last year's 2023 team and the 2021 team both did. I think the 2022 team took like 8 years, so we'll see if this team can beat 6 years. Honestly, looking at it quickly, I don't think it's going to be the case. Like, last year's team had Bedard, Fantilli, Shane Wright, Korchinski, Clark. They were stacked with like elite potential players. This team has Celebrini, who is high elite. He's going to carry this team. After him, though, the only other medium elite plus player is Matthew Savoy. Luckily, we do have Matthew Poitras there. He's already an 81, as he's been playing for the Bruins NHL this year. He's got medium top 6, so he'll be a player for sure. You got Fraser Minton, got a short stint with the Leafs. Tristan Luneau here, I should mention, was supposed to be on the team, but he got injured. Same goes for Tanner Molendyk, so decided to include both of them because, like, in this, we're going multiple years, so I think, unless they're injured for 6 years, they'd eventually make their way back on this team. You got Connor Geekie there, Matachuk, who is high top 4. Actually, I should sort by position here just to make it easier for you guys. So, looking through, again, like, we got some players. Dumais, low elite, could end up, being that star for us. Danielson, high top 6. Need him to really grow as well. Most of the guys are medium top 6. You got Cowan there, high top 9. I think Owen Allard there is the worst potential medium bomb 6 just because he hasn't been drafted yet. And again, defensively, we have no elite potential players, but Matchuk's a high top 4. As I mentioned, Molendyk 2 added to this team. So, I mean, we should be able to get at least a solid top 6 out of this. And then, as usual, no, like, stud goalie. But at least we do have Scott Ratzlaff, who in the tournament this year was a 3rd string. But he actually has the highest potential there, medium starter, as he's only drafted goalie of the 3. So he'll probably be in the AHL the first year. Then after that, he'll be our starter. And in regards to the simulation, guys, I've added the Canadian World Juniors as the 33rd team in the league. Also, too, because the tournament took place in Sweden, I feel like the division didn't really matter. So I'm just putting them in Pacific divisions. I think that gives us the best chance to make the playoffs. And I should point out, too, we're 65 overall, so obviously not going to be making the playoffs anytime soon. And now next year, guys, I'll show what the lines are looking like for this team. I'm not using the authentic lines. Obviously, we have to worry about chemistry. Also, too, I want to make sure the higher-rated players are getting the most ice time. So first line here, you got Celebrini, Poitras, and Savoy. I will say one thing about this. All 3 are playmakers. I'm not sure if, our 3 best players all being playmakers is going to hurt us or not. Also, too, I actually made sure to edit Celebrini's X Factors. They actually just add him to the game only in the World Junior mode, though. And so I took the X Factors EA gave him and add him to this custom player. If you guys are curious, though, that's what the one I have looks like. Second line there, you got Fraser Minton, the captain, playing with Connor Geekie, Jordan Dumais. You got Brayden Yager on the 3rd line, Nate Danielson, Matthew Wood. If you guys are curious about the player types, they definitely get better after the first line. A pretty good mix, honestly, there. And then the 4th line, you got Carson Retkop, Owen Beck, and Easton Cowan. So the forward group, I think, will be pretty solid, even though we only have a couple elite players. Defensively here, we got Matachuk and Luneau on the top pair. Bonk and Molendyk on the second pair. They actually get a +2. And then finally, we got Noah Warren and Maverick Lamoureux on the bottom. Should point out, too, Lamoureux's got the Shrug It Off X Factor, which is pretty nice. He's also 6'6", so he's a big guy. Savoy, too, has got the 3rd eye. In terms of the goaltending, Russo, there's our starter. St. Hilaire backing him up. Now, in the AHL, we got Ratzlaff there as the backup to Anton Bibeau. So I'm curious to see which, players grow more, although Ratzlaff has the high potential. Also, too, Owen Allard's actually the first line center in the AHL, and then defensively, we got a few guys here to choose from. Jorian Donovan, Ty Nelson, and Jake Furlong all down there. Sometimes, random guys will grow more than you expect, so we'll see what happens. Good to have a few extra options here to make up for, not having as stud prospects on this team. And then before you guys say anything in the comments, I also just realized I totally forgot to add Yager Furcus to this team. I'm not sure how I messed that up. Luckily, we can just trade for him. As you can see there, 69 overall, medium top 6. We'll see whether or not he makes the NHL team or if it'll be an AHL with Allard, offering up a 2nd round pick, which obviously doesn't mean anything to us. All the picks I usually just waste after like the 1st round pick, making sure, basically another NHL team doesn't get a top 5 elite player. And you know what, guys? Furcus is giving the NHL team. Haven't taken over for Repkov there. He should be going to junior, but somehow he doesn't. I've got him playing first line in the AHL with Allard. And now in regards to the captaincy, guys, just like in real life, Fraser Minton there is wearing the C. I've also got both Savoy and Poitras wearing A's. Now also, too, Owen Beck and Lamoureux are supposed to have A's, but you can only have 2 A's in this game. I also went through and tried to make sure every single player is wearing their authentic World Junior number. And our ratings for the first year, guys, are 75 offense, 62 defense, 58 goaltending. Also, too, if you're curious about the custom jerseys here, that's the away. There's the home and the alternate. Of course, got to give a shout out to Vasi. He's the one who actually put together those jerseys. I think they look pretty sharp. All right, guys, for the end of the season now with a record of 25, 51, and 6. Honestly, I feel like this team did better than I expected. We finished last place in the division, 56 points, but like, they put up a good amount of wins for being, an under 20 team. I'd say pretty respectable. Again, I don't think anyone finished below us. Yeah, no, we got dead last in the NHL, but still, like, we were not the worst team to ever play in the league before. So I think that's something for the first year. Jordan Dumais there was actually our leading scorer, 68 points. You can see he's got a +1. Most of these guys are going to grow during the summer. Him and Minton, actually, only two 60+. Geeky there. Patra 51. Celebrini only 46. Didn't grow at all, but he's got high elite. I'm sure he will. Savoy 44. Matichuk 40 for D-Man. I think it's pretty solid. Obviously, the plus minuses on this team are pretty terrible. I think Easton Cowan there is the best one, and the worst was actually Celebrini, probably due to all the minutes he was getting. Goaltending. So you got St. Hilaire, Rousseau, both under 900, not by much, both under 4 goals against at least, so that's something. And in the AHL, guys, Ratzlaff here actually had really good numbers, only 13 games played with a 9.31 save percentage, 2.68 goals against. Again, he'll most likely be our starter of the future. Now for the AHL guys, we had Retkop there, only 32 points, Donovan 29, Allard 24, playing first line. You'd like a bit more production. I mean, Ty Nelson there, 1 less point as a defenseman. And Donovan actually had more there, also as a D-man. Alright guys, the lottery results are in. As you can see there, Minnesota picking first overall. We're picking third, so again, I'll pick best player available, and then I'll just bury them in the AHL. That way we're essentially like taking away a really good prospect from another team. And as you guys can see here, the Vancouver Canucks won the Stanley Cup. I feel like Vancouver would go nuts if that happens this year. I'll take a quick look here, guys, at the awards. Leafs actually won the President's Trophy. Individually here, I doubt we get anything. Maybe Bill Masterton. Bedard there, Calder Trophy, of course, former player of ours. And we don't get to Bill Masterton. I feel like that was the only way we had a chance at, so no award this year. But in the AHL, Donovan actually got community involvement, so I feel like they must just give that to a player on a bad team. And Leafs fans, look at this. The Canucks actually beat the Maple Leafs in 7 in the Stanley Cup final. TSN would be gushing over this final. Also, too, Columbus somehow made the Eastern Conference final. I don't know about that one. And so we're at the draft now, guys, and I realized I should probably trade for the first overall pick. That way there's not a second Macklin Celebrini on the Minnesota Wild in this case. So offering up third plus a future first. Hopefully we're good by the time that first round pick rolls around. Wild say yes. That's on medium difficulty. Wow, I mean, I guess we were only like, picking 2 spots behind. So I will take... What? And never mind, I forgot I actually took Celebrini out of the draft when I was doing something. So I guess we'll take this made-up guy, Lars Hedman, first overall. That way the real players are still in the league. And check this out, guys. Normally I won't be showing you the contract situation just because I feel like we'll definitely always have enough cap space to keep these guys signed, but Celebrini actually went up in potential from high elite to medium franchise. So that is going to be huge for our team actually, being competitive in the later years if this guy can kind of carry us. And as an 18-year-old, I'm giving him an 8-year, $6 million contract. Hopefully we can win the cup before this contract's up. And look at this, guys. Already after 1 year, Ratzlaff's the highest rated goalie, 74 overall at 19. So again, as long as he gets to like a low 80, we should be fine in net. And Matichuk there's 84 overall now. He started like a 75. That's incredible. I feel like he could definitely jump from high top 4 to medium elite, similar to how Celebrini jumped in potential. And now there's one more thing I want to do this summer, guys. Let's see if we can potentially get a better head coach. I mean, the one they started us out with is an A- overall. Staff chemistry, though, 38%. I've never seen staff chemistry that bad. He's also got C teaching, and our team's literally filled with teenagers, so that doesn't make a whole ton of sense. There's a few A head coaches there. If there's one that has A+ teaching, like this first guy, pretty stacked at everything, I think he's the man for the job. We'll just pay whatever it costs to get this Fitz guy, because I think we need a really good head coach like him. Dang, so even though we offered that Fitz coach a bunch of extra money, he actually signs with the Devils. All right, this Boulerice guy's got A- teaching, but he's only a B overall. Maybe he'll actually sign with us. So I actually fired a higher rated head coach just to get one with better teaching. Hopefully this works out for us. I do think with the team we have right now, teaching matters more than anything. All right, guys, we're now at the start of year 2. I'll show you what the team is looking like. Already after, 1 season, this team is significantly better. We got Celebrini on the first line there with Patra and Savoy. I'm surprised actually Celebrini's the lower rated of the 3, but again, he's only 18 still. He's got franchise potential. I think he's going to pop off. The fact Patra Savoy already 85 is huge. Jordan DeMay on the second line, 79. Geeky 82. Minton also 82. Third line there, mid-70s with Wood, Danielson, Jaeger. Fourth line, kind of low to mid-70s. So the guys are getting better. Like half the team's already NHL rated. Matichuk again, somehow 86 overall. The dude's got 95 passing. 90D awareness, though, like, really just very good all around. I didn't think this team was going to have a number 1 defenseman. It looks like we do in Matichuk, because 86 at 20 is incredible. Even Leno at 79 already is pretty good. Jordan Donovan, 78. He was playing in the AHL. He only had medium toxic potential, and somehow he's already our 3rd highest rated defenseman. So it just shows you, in terms of the growth, it is pretty random. Sometimes guys you wouldn't expect jump up in rating. He's playing Lamoureux there. We got Warren and Bonk on the bottom pair. Goaltending, as I mentioned, Ratzlaff's our starter. He's actually a 76 already. Russo backing him up, 71. Pretty good for only having low fringe potential. And then AHL-wise, St. Hilaire is the starter. We got Molendijk and Nelson, the top pair, both 69s. Furlong there is a 70. And then in forward, we got Retkop, 72. Allard, 69. All right, guys, so just finishing the regular season. I accidentally sent it a couple days too late. But as you can see here, we finished with 53 points. Record there, 23, 52, and 7. So I think that's actually a worse record than last year, which is pretty funny. Maybe that has to do with the head coach. But again, all I'm concerned about is our players growing. I see Savoy's already 87. He had almost a point per game this year, so that's going to be huge for his growth. Celebrini, 69, that's nice. Pacho 65, Jordan Dumais a 50-point season. He's an 83 now, that's what we want to see. Minton and Geeky getting to 40 points. Jaeger's close. Leno at 35 points, like that's not too bad. Let's take a look at Ratzlav's first year in the NHL. A .89 save percentage, 3.97 goals against. So Russo's numbers there are better, but usually the backups are. As long as, yeah, I was going to say, as long as he's growing. He's 82 overall now. So I do think the head coaching change worked in terms of like the future of this team, even though obviously this year was a growing year, we'll call it. Also, two guys I almost forgot, but Repkov here, 56 points AHL, Lard 48. Both those guys played a lot better. Molendijk there, 40. Same with Nelson. Furlong, 28. So hopefully all those guys also grow. And now the large results are in here, guys. As you can see, we're picking first overall. So we're probably going to draft Michael Misa, who I think will probably be on the World Junior team next year. Unfortunately, he was on the 2024 team, so we cannot use him. You might have saw there as well, the Avalanche actually won the Stanley Cup. And now taking a quick look at the rest of the awards, Boston Bruins are on the President's Trophy. They also got beat by the Avs in 7 in the Stanley Cup final. Matthews there, Art Ross, and the Hart. Quinn Hughes, James Norris. Just curious to see. Michkov got the Calder. Do we get anything? Swayman's down the Kings. Very interesting. Alex Edler, Bill Masterton. Flyers coach Jack Adams. So yeah, unfortunately no awards for us this year. And so like I was saying, guys, I'm taking Misa first overall in the draft. Unfortunately though, he's just gonna be stuck in the AHL for the entire video. Now this is kind of interesting, guys. I didn't realize this could happen, but because we had a terrible season, my head coach actually dropped in rating. Still B overall, but if you look here, he's actually got a B teaching now, opposed to I think he had A- before. So he's fired. Staff chemistry is still absolutely terrible, but if we actually hold on to a head coach, it'll be good. Murata here is A+ overall with A- teaching. Unfortunately, he went with the Penguins. The next best option here is Fotinos, A+ teaching there. Now, he's only a B overall, so he'll be cheap. Again, if there's like a better guy available next year, we could just sign him, fire this guy. I'm not really, too concerned about who the coach is when we win. I just want to try and win as fast as possible. And there we go. This guy actually did accept. So let's start year 3 here, guys. Here's an updated look at the team. Savoy's got a couple X factors now. Celebrini's still an 86. Dumais now an 84 with a couple X factors. Bit of a new look first line there with Potter on the second line. Honestly, this might help us out though, because we actually have a bit of depth scoring now. Fraser Minton left wings 81. Furcus here's a 79. He's actually got the best shot on the team. 4 stars there. Like, look at that. 87 accuracy, 90 power. Pretty good hands too. Good thing I remember to add him to this team. Danielson, Geeky, Jaeger, I think is a pretty decent third line. Repkov's getting his first chance in the NHL, playing with Beck and Wood. Defensively here, we got Matachuk, Leno on the top pair. Matachuk actually dropped in rating 85. Donovan, Lamoureux, Warren, Furlong. Furlong as well, getting his first shot in the NHL. You're looking at goaltenders. Ratzlav's now at 84. Russo there's a 73. AHL St. Hilaire is also 73. He's 1 year older though, at least based on the birthday, so that's why he's in the AHL. Allard there's in the AHL still. Easton Cowan actually got dropped down. Defensively, Molendijk's still there. Bonk's down the AHL along with Ty Nelson. So we'll see what happens. I feel like, the team just keeps getting better. Hopefully we can at least not get last place this season. Alright guys, so unfortunately, again, we're finishing last place here in year 3. 11 points back of the Predators, but I feel like the team's getting better, at least on paper. Maybe the issue is the rest of the teams are getting good too. I see Jordan Dumais is actually up to an 87. That's awesome. Had a 66-point year. Celebrini 62, Savoy 61. So the first line is producing. Patra, Geeky, Danielson 45-ish points. Jaeger's got 40. Furcus 31. Only 11 goals with that shot. Definitely needs to be shooting the puck a lot more than that. But I mean, the plus minuses aren't as bad as they've been. Again, hopefully, we can get some spikes in growth. Better coach here. The team will play better. Ratzlav over 900 save percentage. I actually love seeing that, even though he had a bad record. I feel like can't complain, especially 84 overall at 21. I was just hoping he'd max out at least an 82, and I figured with that we could definitely win a cup. AHL-wise, St. Hilaire had pretty decent numbers. A 916 save percentage isn't bad at all. Let's see, Easton Cowan there at 55. Allard at 40, same with Molendijk. Nelson 39, Bonk 37. We'll see, how playing the AHL affects their growth. And the draft results just came in, guys. Arizona, they're picking first overall against Gavin McKenna. I was really hoping we would have won the first overall pick just so another team could have had him, but we're picking third there. So again, whatever, great prospect we take, I'll just send down to the A. And as you can see here, the Columbus Blue Jackets won the Stanley Cup. That's honestly another pretty big shocker. I did not expect them to be winning the Cup that fast, especially with where they are in real life. Buffalo President's Trophy, individual awards here. Just trying to see if there's anything crazy. Quinn Hughes, third straight. James Norris. Oh my goodness, he's just dominating. Irishman Calder Trophy. Good for him. Fantilli got the Conn Smythe. And it doesn't look like, yeah, no awards for us, unfortunately, again. So we're in the offseason now, guys. I'm again trying to get an A head coach. This one has A+ teaching and coach influence. Isaac Strong here. Hopefully we can sign him. I'm going to offer him over $5 million. He's only asking for $4.5. I think the guy we have right now is not bad, but we still haven't not gotten last in NHL, so we could use somebody better. And there we go, guys. He actually said yes, so maybe this is the season we actually turned it around, especially with all the players starting to grow a bit. All right, guys, here's look at the line to start of year 4. We already got the new head coach, and now the team's looking the best it ever has. Obviously, that kind of should be the case every year, but especially now, the entire first line is stacked with X factors, giving them a +5 chem boost. You also got Savoy now at 89, might be our first 90-plus player. Connor Geeky on the second line now at 86. Patron Mill 87 with the skilled up X factors. So I think he might have scored a Michie last season. I don't know. Furcus on the right wing. You got Wood, Danielson, Minton, third line. Retkov, Beck, and Jaeger's the new fourth line. Defensively here, we got Matachuk and Warren on the top pair. Lambrew, Leno on the second, with Molendijk and Donovan there on the bottom pair. And in terms of the goaltending, guys, Ratzlav still the starter, 84 overall. St. Hilaire is actually now the backup because he's a 76, whereas Russo is only a 73, which is kind of surprising, honestly, to see. Easton Cowan still in the AHL along with Allard. You guys can also see we got this Hedman guy we drafted first year, 89 overall. He's in the AHL, kind of funny. And then we got Furlong, Nelson, Bonk, also in the AHL. Again, if they end up growing, making the team, or maybe they just give us a huge chemistry boost, I will, call them up. But for now, that's the squad. All right, guys, we're at the end of year 4, and I can proudly say for the first time, we did not finish last. We actually got second last in our division, beating out the Sharks, who are still terrible, apparently. Leading scorer this year was Macklin Celebrini. Okay, so the kid finally exploding, 74 points, 82 games. And now take a look at the entire league standings here. We actually finished 5th last. So we beat out the Islanders, the Preds, the Sharks, and the Coyotes. Obviously, still not a great team, but that is progress. Hopefully a sign of, good things to come. Again, I think we have the right players here, a good balance. Even though we don't really have a superstar outside of Celebrini, I think this team can get it done. So speaking of which, behind him, Dumais, 69, nice. You got Savoy there, 63. Both these guys should get his own ability soon since they got like 5 superstar abilities. Yager Furcus there is -8, so he's actually one of our better players. 83, should just continue to go up in rating. Pochard did solid, same with Danielson. He could even get to an 85, 86. Geeky was close to 50 points. I think, yeah, overall, can't be too upset. Goaltending-wise, Ratzlav, close to 900, but again, you could have a 95 give you these stats, right? So I'm fine with that. AHL here, Russo actually gave us a 900, which is good to see. That Hedman dude, 115 points, 69 goals in the AHL. That is just too funny. Easton Cowan playing with them had 90 points. Now, what I've heard is AHL production does not matter, because if it did, I feel like Easton Cowan put up 90 points would definitely grow his rating quite a bit. We'll see whether or not that happens. Allard there at 58, even though he was also in that line, so that's strange. Ty Nelson, pretty good season for defenseman. Furlong, 53. Bonk, 43. We'll see if any of those guys can actually make the jump back to the NHL next year. All right, guys, so to start the 5th year, here's a look at the team. First line still intact. Savoy, Celebrini, Dumais getting the +5. I will say, Celebrini, medium franchise potential, still an 88. Really need him to get to, 92, 93, take over the league. Second line, Danielson's down 87, so he's had a ton of good growth. Playing with Geeky, also an 87. Furcus, 86. I mentioned he had a solid last season. Matthew Wood there on the third line with Potra and Jaeger. So again, we're adding even more depth. Like the top 9 now is pretty solid. Poch went from being 1C to 3C. Even Fraser Minton as our 4C is very solid. Retkop on the left wing. Cowan there on right wing. Defensively here, Matachuk, Warren's our top pair. Lambrew and Leno on the second pair. Molendijk and Nelson actually on the bottom pair. This is his first time being on the NHL team, so hopefully he'll do well. Goaltending, Ratzlav starting. St. Hilaire still backing him up. AHL, you got Russo there. In terms of the forwards, it's kind of funny. Hedman and Misa. Like, these two are going to dominate the AHL, especially they got Owen Beck there playing with them. Maybe they'll actually boost his rating. Allard there on the second line. Defensively, you got Donovan, Bonk, and Furlong. I feel like that 6th defenseman spot is still, open for any of these guys, but we'll see how they grow in the 5th year. Maybe we finally make the playoffs. All right, guys, we're now at the end of year 5. Unfortunately, it's more of the same. Last place in the division. I'm starting to have doubts if this team's even good enough to make the playoffs, let alone win the Stanley Cup. Celebrini had a solid season, though, 71 points, 82 games. I'm just thinking back to last year's team. Again, you're getting carried by Bedard, Fantilli, a better supporting cast. This year's team only really has a couple guys. The rest are decent NHLers, but, no future superstars. So we'll see this season where we finish. Wow. Okay, second last in the entire NHL. Still have a lot of work to do. Like, we had 73 points. We need another 17 points to make the playoffs. Definitely need some guys to start growing. Now behind Celebrini, Dumais there at 67. Danielson 65, and he was a +6. I mean, that's a good sign to see the second line do something. He's got an X Factor now. Savoy there, Furcus. Geeky on that line, +7. He also got an X Factor. Should mention Furcus as well, +10 was actually the best part of that line. Poch only 42 points. Hopefully it doesn't drop in rating. That would be absolutely terrible. Took so long to grow these guys. Looking at goaltending here, Ratzlav had a 900 save percentage, so I mean, we'll take that. In the AHL, Russo also putting up good numbers. Misa, 92. Okay, so Hedman slowed down playing with Michael Misa. Very interesting. You got a playmaker and a sniper. You think these two would just dominate the league. Owen Beck, 67. Still not an 80, unfortunately. Allard there, I don't think is ever going to make the team. He's still only 73 at 24. And I just entered the playoffs, guys. As you can see here, the Avalanche again won the Stanley Cup. I think I forgot to show the awards last year. It was actually Winnipeg Jets there getting a Stanley Cup. So a good amount of, Canadian teams getting it done. The Devils get the President's Trophy. Stützle Ross Trophy, pretty cool to see. I'm assuming, again, no awards. And, oh, as I say that, look at that, Warren, Bill Masterton. So we finally get something. I think that's our first individual award. When we finally make the playoffs, we got to get the Jack Adams, I'm thinking, as well. Robert Thomas there, another Selke trophy, pretty cool. Also, too, in the AHL, guys, I should point out, last year, Hedman had the most points and was MVP. He also had the most goals this year and last year. And then Michael Misa this year was the best rookie. Last year was Hedman, so I think he had the first 4 awards, which is pretty incredible. Also, too, Misa here had sportsmanship, so those two guys, if we could call them up, would definitely make this easier, but we gotta stick with Team Canada for now. Alright, guys, so here we go, start of Season 6. I'm hoping this is the year we finally make the playoffs. I mean, the team is looking pretty nice. Like, this looks like a playoff team on paper. Celebrini's now at 90, which is awesome. Still has that franchise potential. He's playing with Danielson now as the 1C, 89 overall. Savoy there's a 90. They still get a +5 chem. You got Dumais, Geeky, Furcus in the second line getting a +3. Like, overall, I feel like that's a solid top 6 you can win a cup with. Rekoff there's actually on the third line now, playing with Patra and Jaeger. Fourth line's Cowan, Minton, and Wood. Defensively here, we got Matachuk, Warren, Lamoureux, Melendijk, Furlong, and Leno. I actually called it Furlong simply because I feel in the bottom pair, 90 shot block and stick check, 4.5 star physical. D-awareness could be better, but I think he might, do a better job there than, say, Ty Nelson was doing. I know the defense could be a weak spot going in. I'm hoping, too, Matachuk. He actually had his best season as a rookie. He was, like, 73 overall. Has not done much since then, so I'm hoping maybe this year he'll do something. I make sure he's on, like, power play 1 and stuff. Goaltending, Ratzlaff starting, still in 84. St. Hilaire backing him up. AHL, you got Russo there. Now, the first forward line in the AHL is actually stupid. It's kind of just funny to see, like, what happens there. You got Hedman, Misa, Ralph. These were, like, our top 3 picks all in a row. You got Beck, Allard still there. I feel like they're probably going to be the guys that end up on the outside looking in terms of the NHL forward group. Donovan, Nelson, Bonk. Again, if one of those guys can get to, like, a low 80, they'll definitely make the NHL team, but probably run out of time here. Alright, guys, this is insane. This World Junior team might be cursed. I don't know. They had a 28-50-4 record this season with 60 points. I feel like this team should be so much better than that. Truly don't understand. Celebrini there, 71 points. I'm taking another look at our coaching staff here. As you guys can see, we got 38 staff chemistry. I feel like that's got to be what's doing it. Just the staff chemistry is not there at all. The head coach, though, is like a decent fit there, 62%. So maybe this season I'll try bringing in like a new associate assistant coach, as I do see we have a veteran assistant coach who might not be the best thing, but 38 staff chemistry, probably to the fact we're losing, doesn't help either. Wow, look at this, guys. After 6 years, we're back to dead last in the league. That shows you what I know, too, because I honestly thought this team was good enough to at least make the playoffs finally. Does not seem to be the case. This is honestly kind of crazy. Savoy there, 70 points. Dumais, 57. Wow, so even though these guys are growing in rating, they're just not performing for whatever reason. Like, they're getting good chemistry. I'm kind of lost. I don't know what's going on here. Ratzlaff's putting up decent numbers, 9-1 save percentage, almost under 2 goals against, so he was definitely doing everything he could. AHL-wise, Russo, okay numbers. Misa there, 107. Beck there, 62. And this is actually hilarious, guys. If you remember at the very beginning of the episode, I traded away a future first-round pick to move up to first overall to get Celebrini, who I thought was in the draft, thinking, no way we'd still be bad 5 years later. Well, apparently we are. As you can see, Minnesota there picking 2 with our pick. That is hilarious to see. Columbus Blue Jackets have actually just won their 2nd Stanley Cup. I kind of want to take a look at their team because I feel like we're probably just as good as the Blue Jackets. I could be dead wrong, but I don't know. Seattle Kraken President's Trophy. Individual awards here, I feel we probably aren't getting anything. And actually, no Warren, his 2nd Bill Masterton back-to-back. The game's just starting to feel bad for us at this point. Also, Robert Thomas apparently is just a defensive machine. His 3rd Selke trophy there in 5 years. Also, too, guys, our AHL team's just running the show. You can see Misa there, most points and MVP. Hedman, most goals. Rupp there, the best rookie. I think Misa also won something else. Yeah, sportsmanship for back-to-back years. Kind of funny to see. So like I was saying, guys, I want to see what the 2-time Stanley Cup winning Columbus Blue Jacket team looks like. Kent Johnson's now a 94 with medium franchise potential. That's insane. He started out medium elite, so like we could have a guy grow like that. Honestly, though, I've never seen Kent Johnson get that good. Like, incredible. Renski there, 92 defenseman. We definitely need that. Fantilli, Celebrini's basically Fantilli. You got Jaracek there, so they have 2 good defensemen. Line as well. I mean, yeah, they got a lot of high 80s here. Take a look at the goaltender. Vinny, 86. Fowler, 84. So Ratzlaff's not that far off. If we have some guys grow, and like I said, we just really lack a number one defenseman. If Matachuk could have actually kept that pace after he got to 86 in the first year, we might have made the playoffs by now. All right, guys, so 6 years, no playoffs. So not only no playoffs, but like not even getting close. We got to try something. So gonna fire that head coach who dropped in rating. Gonna hire the best guy here. He's A+ everything. Again, with owner mode turned off, we're just gonna overpay him like $2 million, and maybe he can actually save this team. And there we go, guys. We finally had an expensive head coach actually agreeing to sign with us. All right, guys, so here we go. Start of year 7. Hopefully it's lucky number 7. We got Celebrini, Danielson, Savoy still on that first line getting +5. Dumais, Poitras, Furcus on the second. So I think the only change of the top 6 is Geeky's actually our 3C now. Playing with Minton, who's up from the 4th line. Jaeger, 4th line looks pretty good. Again, like looking at that roster, I don't see how we're finishing last place. Defense definitely could be better, but I've seen teams in the playoffs where they have a lot less depth than this. Like, I remember running into teams in the Stanley Cup final late in the franchise who have like an 86 at their number 1, and then after that, it's like all 82s, 83s. We're not far off of that. Goaltending, we got a decent starter in Ratzlav, so I don't really get it. I think this team definitely is underperforming big time. Might have to, you know, call up Michael Misa from the AHL or something to give this team a bit more of a chance. All right, guys, so I just sent through year 7, and I got good news. We didn't make the playoffs.
What?
But for the first time in this entire video, we were actually competitive. We finished there with 83 points, 82 games. We actually were only 4 points out of a playoff spot in the Pacific Division. Again, Pacific, you can see quite a bit worse than the Central, which is why I picked the division. Unfortunately, hasn't seemed to have mattered yet. Hopefully this means, like, you know, our coach isn't going to drop in rating because we were at least decent. All the players might go up with better plus minuses. Maybe next year will finally be our first year in the playoffs. Matthew Savoy there, 79 points, so almost a point per game. In terms of the entire league, we were 26th, so like, you know, still pretty low, but again, I feel like something to be proud of. This team's finally, hopefully, turning a corner. Celebrini there was also close to a point per game. Danielson had solid numbers, same with Dumais. Furcus, Poitras close to 50. Plus minuses are nowhere near as bad as they used to be, so we'll see if this team can keep it together. Ratzlav above 900 goaltending, like giving us what we want, under 3 goals against in this game. That's really all you can ask for. AHL, Wahais Russo is kind of just, again, stuck in there. Misa, like I said, I might have to call him up and just give this team a bit of a boost, a future World Junior player, because they're just not doing good enough. In terms of the awards for this year, guys, the New York Islanders actually won the Stanley Cup and the President's Trophy, so good season for them. Maybe we get something here. Not the Bill Masterton, so it does not look like any awards, unfortunately. But this is kind of cool, guys, to show you how stacked our AHL team is now with all the prospects we've drafted but not called up. They actually won the Calder Cup for the first time, along with the regular season. Misa there, back-to-back, most points and MVPs. Most goals there for one of our guys. Scantleberry, best rookie. Yeah, so our AHL team's dominating. Hopefully the NHL team can take some notes. All right, guys, so here we go. We're now to start at year 8. As you can see, first slide's looking a bit different now. We got Jaeger Furcus there with Celebrini, Savoy. Savoy's a 91, and he's got the shotgun on his own abilities, so maybe they'll give us like a little bit of boost. Second line, Jordan Dumais playing with Matthew Poitras and Nate Danielson. They had a +5, so I think the top 6 is the best it's ever looked. Third line, we got Wood, Geeky, Jaeger. Fourth is Cowan, Minton, and Retkov. Defensively here, Matachuk's actually got the Ascended X Factor now. He's an 86. Playing with Lamoureux in the top pair. This is actually their last year to grow. These guys are 26, have yet to make the playoffs. We still have Warren Leno in the second pair. And Lundike here, I'm actually trying the bottom pair with Oliver Bonk. Reason being, he's got medium top 4 potential. If you guys look at the AHL defensemen, all these guys have medium top 6. So I felt like it just kind of made sense to give Bonk, you know, one last chance to grow a bit. He does decent here in the NHL. Goaltending, no change. Ratzlav still an 84. St. Hilaire backing him up. Russo here actually might lose his job to a prospect we drafted like 5 years ago, which is pretty funny to think about. AHL team, you can see Beck still second line center. I didn't really expect him to be the guy on the outside looking in, but just never really grew for whatever reason. And then Allard here actually might end up losing his spot in the AHL just due to all the prospects we drafted over the 7 years so far. Finally, this team's in the playoffs. It only took us 8 years, and we actually had an awesome season. 49, 30, and 3, one shy of 50. We actually tied both the Canucks and the Kraken with 101 points, so we're going to be playing Seattle in the first round. The Ducks there even, we're 1 point back of for the division lead. So good to see that finally happen. I think, you know, with the team not doing too bad last year, the coach didn't lose too much of his stats, which meant the team didn't kind of fall apart. Matthew Savoy there, 87 points. I think, you know, good to see all this happening. Curious to see, like, 101 points. We're probably a top 5 team in the league. We're top 6. I mean, actually tied with the Kraken for the 5th spot. So, yeah, I mean, the fact that, you know, our first time in the playoffs, we're over 100 points. Pretty cool to see this team finally arrive. Hopefully it's not a fluke. Hopefully we can keep coming, because I doubt we're...
That's what she said.
As I doubt we're going to win the Stanley Cup this year. Celebrini, 84 points. Danielson, 83, so the top line was doing very well. Actually, Danielson's on the second line, so just a top 6 in general. Furcus, I mean, I like to see him getting more goals. Patra had 72, Dumais 70, so 6 guys with 70 plus points. Geeky had 60. Matachuk had his best year yet with 59. That's awesome. I think he could get to 87, 88. Even Braden Yeager, 54 points. Finally, this team showed up, played hockey, as I kind of expected them to do all video long. Scott Ratzlaff, a 901, put up 43 wins. He could even grow a bit. Luckily, they're all 26, so they do still have some time for that to happen. In terms of the AHL, I mean, Michael Misa, 118 points. And we need, like, you know, kind of a cheat code, a little bit of extra help here if I think we're not going to win the Cup. Could definitely call him up. So as I was saying, guys, in the first round, we got the Kraken. Unfortunately, no home ice advantage, but that's okay. Be a long plane ride to Sweden, I guess, if that's our home rink. As you guys can see, we actually shut them out in the first game 4-0, lost the second. Headed home here, game 3 and 4. And we get a couple wins, actually, both 6-2. Come on. 5-1 win, let's go. On to round 2 in our first playoff appearance. We got the Anaheim Ducks here. They won the division, but they only beat us by a point. So I think definitely a beatable team here. First 2 games in Anaheim. Unfortunately, they're both losses, but close games, 4-2 and a 6-5 OT loss. Game 3 and 4, OT loss, and then an OT win. So again, very close games. I think we could maybe pull out the reverse sweep. As I say that, we lose it. Are you kidding me? We lost in OT. 3 of the 4 games we lost in OT. We deserved a better fate, I think, in this series. And look at this, guys. We lost the eventual Stanley Cup champs in the Anaheim Ducks. That team was beatable, so that tells me if that Ducks team can win the Cup, and we were like in every single game, this team is good enough to win a Cup. I'm not going to lie, after 7 straight non-playoff appearances, I was starting to think it wasn't going to happen, but now I do have hope. Let's see, the Ducks here, they actually took out the Canucks in 7 after beating us, and then the Devils they swept in the Stanley Cup final. In terms of playoff stats here, Furcus, Celebrini, Savoy, so that entire first line was over a point per game. Ratzlaff, 9.28, really solid numbers. I just noticed too, Matachuk, almost a point per game as a D-man. Like, I think this team started to come along. I want to say he actually gained an X factor too, so unfortunately for us, you know, it took a while, but we might have got the Jack Adams trophy here. Let's take a look. We definitely deserve it. And, nope, they gave it to the Flyers coach. 7 straight years we don't get in, finally do, and they can't even give us that. Unreal. Michael Misa, 3rd straight year, most points AHL. Also 3rd straight year winning the MVP. And this Heaven guy has had the most goals 4 or 5 years. I'm pretty sure the Rupp guy's also on our team, so this AHL team is just a dynasty. Alright guys, for the start of year 9, it's kind of funny. All these guys are 27, which means they're technically done growing. And we actually now have the most X Factors on the team we've had yet, probably because we had such a solid season last year. So the first line I didn't change. I don't think I changed the second line either. I think if it's not broke, don't fix it. You can see though, Celebrini's now got the 3rd eye zone ability. Patra there's got the tape-to-tape zone ability. Jaeger's actually added an X Factor. I think Geeky might have added some more too. Woods up to an 84. Even Jaeger playing 3rd line's an 87 now. 4th line looks to be like the same ratings. Defensively here, Matachuk's an 88. He added the Heat Seeker as well as the injury one. I think the rest of the defensive ratings are the same. I actually called up Donovan. I'm just trying different guys in like that 6 D-man spot. I was really hoping one of them would actually end up being an 80. Goaltending Ratzlaff there, still an 84. I thought he might have grown, unfortunately not the case. He is 26 though, so has 1 year left. Speaking of goalies, Russo actually got beat out in the AHL. I think too, if you look here, Allard can't even make the forward team because everyone's 77 plus. Beck though is still the 2C. Defensively again, you got Nelson, Furlong, Bonk. I don't think any of these guys are going to become an 80, so I'm basically just seeing what works. I had Bonk there last year, we did pretty good, but he's still a 77, he didn't grow at all, and his potential is actually tanked from medium top 4 to medium 7th D, so it doesn't really make sense anymore to have him up there. So hopefully guys, this is the year we finally win the Stanley Cup. I thought last year we looked really good. Team's looking even better now on paper, so fingers crossed, finally, year 9, we get it done. And now check this out, guys. I accidentally simmed a couple days too far, but as you can see there, we actually hit 50 wins for the first time. 52, 23, and 7. Obviously, with that record, we're in the playoffs. Unfortunately, still can't win the division. Even with 111 points, the Oilers there actually beat us out by 1. We might be second in the NHL behind them, though. And we are. So, looks like we might have to face them in this playoff run, but still, considering where we were in that first, handful of dark years, again, I don't know if it was just like maybe I was firing and hiring head coaches too often, trying to get that perfect one. It could have been that. I'm sure the other comments will let me know, as always. But right here, guys, you can see Celebrini leading score, 74 points. Savoy, 72. I mean, look at this. You had 3 there with 70, so 5 total. Danielson was close. Plus minuses look pretty good. Matachuk at 50 points again. The fact is at 88, he's actually looking like a number 1. It's tough to win in this game without that number 1 defenseman. Goaltending Ratzlaff. Are you kidding me? He has to go up in rating after this season. 42 wins. .914 save percentage. That is incredible. I can't see him not growing if I'm being honest. And on the HL guys, I always like to look for fun. Michael Misa there, 114. Hedman, 111. Owen Beck, 63. I still can't believe he didn't even get up to an 80. He's pretty crazy how long we had to wait for this team to be good, but we actually get a chance at redemption. Anaheim Ducks here in round 1. Obviously, they knocked us out in round 2. Let's see what happens. We got the home ice advantage this time. First 2 games, 7-1 win, 5-3 loss. We take a 1-1. Game 3 and 4, 3-0 loss, 4-3 OT win. All right, 2-2. Again, we take those. At this point, guys, it's basically like a best of 3, and we got the home ice advantage. Game 5 is a 3-2 win. Just have to win one of the next 2. It's going to come down to Game 7, please. EA gods, let's go. 3-1 win, Game 7, and as we predicted, got the Oilers now in round 2. All right, let's see what happens. Can we shut down McDavid? We do. First 2 games, 4-3 OT win, 3-2 win. Very close, but still headed home to Sweden for the sweep. And we lost one. We actually won the other. I'll take being up 3-1 on the President's Trophy Oilers after 4 games. And just like that, we take them out in 5. This team is rolling. And now, guys, in the conference final, we actually have the Vancouver Canucks. Let's see what happens here. Got the home ice advantage with the Oilers being out. We'll have that the rest of the playoffs. Not ideal. Lose the first 2 games. Head to Vancouver now. We got to at least pick up 1 win. And we actually get 2 wins. Let's go. 2-2. Come on, guys. Let's see if we can get the lead here. Game 5 is a 6-2 win. Are you kidding me? Game 6 is a 4-2 win. Let's go. After losing the first 2, we win 4 straight. And now we have the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup final. All right, this is going to be a good one. Hopefully can get this done. First 2 games here at home. 6-1 loss, not ideal. 4-1 win. We'll take 1-1. Let's go. Head to Florida now. 5-2 win, 5-4 OT win. We are up 3-1 in the Stanley Cup final. 3 games to go. We just have to win one of them. Please, EA God. Like I said, in the first 7 years, I was starting to think this video might be shot. And like, if we can't even make the playoffs, how are we ever going to win a Stanley Cup? And all of a sudden, this team's finally pulled it together. Game 5, we're down 1 early. Anton Lundell shorthanded. Still 1-0. We could tie it up at any point, though, so I got to just resume simulation. I want to make sure we can obviously watch that celebration. Still 1-0 here for the Panthers. Halfway through the 3rd. Celebrini, let's go. Ties it up. 5 minutes left here. Oh, I thought that was us. Are you kidding me? I thought we were actually going to have like an OT here. Unfortunately, Florida stays alive. All right, guys, Game 6 now in Florida. We had a chance to win it, in Sweden, doing what they couldn't do in the World Juniors, but we'll take a win in Florida. I don't really care. And 0-0 after 1. After 2, it's 2-1. Come on. These guys have to find a way to tie this thing up. Let's go. I mean, we still have a game left, but they're going to have all the momentum. We're halfway through the 3rd now. We're still down by 1. Shots are equal. I don't know. I think Devin Levi saw was their goalie, which is kind of funny, him returning to Florida. And he is just put on a clinic here. Cannot find a way past him. Wow. Panthers win that 2-1. Force Game 7. Here you go, guys. This is what you play for. Game 7 Stanley Cup Final. We got to find a way to get past these Panthers, get past Devin Levi. First period. And we're up 1-0. Danielson there. Let's go. Second period. Still 1-0. Jeez. Last 2 games were 2-1. This one's 1-0. Period left. Shots are high, too. Like 30 shots. Levi's put on a clinic. Let's go, Connor Geeky. As I said that, I was also going to say, like, Ratzlav's been playing well, too. I don't want to jinx him here. Less than 10 minutes to go in this game. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 minute left. All right, we're going to watch the final minute. Hopefully these guys can get it done. You can see all the zone ability players. You guys can see Kachuk's still their highest rated player at 93. Levi's at 91. Jeez. That's why he's just carrying for them. And I'm making sure you guys to lock position here as the coach. That way I can choose who the cup goes to. Right now, if we are able to hold on here and win, you can see the ratings have basically doubled. 100 offense, 91 defense, 81 goaltending. Looking at Florida there, we have better offense. Actually, 1 better defense. Only goaltending they're higher. So, I mean, I like our odds here. Looks like Celebrini's out there. 1 minute to go. First line centers against Bennett. Come on. Honestly, too, I'm looking at these jerseys. I think Vasi did a really good job. Like, they actually look like the legit World Junior ones. Also, too, I think it helps having that, like, the World Junior numbers, which usually are lower than they were on their regular junior teams. 20 seconds now. Lamoureux, 6'7", puts in the empty net. Let's go. That is it. 9 years it took to win the cup. We're finally going to get this. And look at that, guys. Nate Danielson, actually, playoff scoring leader. Celebrini, though, just went to second with an assist there. All right, guys, 5 seconds left now. Looks like Lamoureux, Matichuk's on it, and there you have it. Finally. I honestly, like I said, I didn't think this team was going to win it. I was starting to think, like, what's the cutoff point? Am I going to go 25 years? Am I going to call it before that? Like, this team's clearly not going to be able to win the cup. And all of a sudden, new coach, have one good season, get a bunch of X factors, and this team's actually performing as I expected them to the 3 years prior. So happy they got this done. I'm also happy I can stop recording after 5 hours of this. Nate Danielson there, Red Wing, gets the Conn Smythe Trophy. I would love for him to actually, hoist that with the same colors, but different logo on the front of his jersey. And next year, guys, you have our captain, Fraser Minton, coming out to lift the Stanley Cup. Wait, are you kidding me? I said Fraser Minton. It looks like they actually changed the captaincy. I didn't think they would do that if, the players remained on your team, but apparently I should have checked. As Savoy's actually wearing the C now, that annoys me because, like I said, all the captains never got dropped to the AHL. So if they're on the team every single year, why would you change it? I guess Nate Danielson, he was MVP of the playoffs. We'll give him the Stanley Cup first. Also, too, guys, I just realized technically we won this in Sweden, but you can see he just filled up with the Canada jerseys. Definitely got to give it to the kid next year, Macklin Celebrini. Huge part of why this team was able to get it done. Rocking number 17 there, his World Junior number. I'm very curious to see what number he'll wear at the NHL level. Finally here, guys, I think we got to give it to Scott Ratzlaff. He actually stepped up as our goalie. If it wasn't for him, I don't think we get this done because the other two goalies just did not, get good enough. 76, I think, was the best one. Ratzlaff here, having that starter goalie, big reason why we're actually able to win this Stanley Cup. So again, super cool this happened. This is actually the longest I've ever taken any of these teams, but only by 1 year, which is kind of surprising when you consider just how bad of a start they had. And then finally here, guys, you got the classic team pick. Again, I feel like those jerseys look sharp. And like I said, starting to think this was never going to happen, but good to see the boys. They got it done. And right there, you guys have the list of names from the World Junior team now on the Stanley Cup. Pretty cool to see. I will advance here. As you can see, it shows us the Stanley Cup champs. And look at that. In the final year, our AHL team also won the Calder Cup. Pretty perfect ending, I would say. Again, Danielson was the playoff scoring leader. You guys can see our road to it there. Ducks in 7, Oilers in 5, Canucks in 6, and then the Panthers in 7. Definitely earned this Stanley Cup. President's Trophy stolen by the Oilers, having one more point than us. Now let's see if we finally get an award other than the Bill Masterton. I guess also two Conn Smythes are guaranteed. It of course went to Nate Danielson there, but do we get anything else? Jack Adams maybe? Sharks coach gets that one. I think our coach definitely got screwed there. So still, I'll take the Conn Smythe and the Stanley Cup all day. And again, if you guys are curious, AHL team, their second Calder Cup. They're also second time winning the season. Michael Misa, 4 straight most points. Doesn't win the MVP though, it's Hedman there. Hedman also had most goals, 4 of 5 years. I mean, like I said, the AHL team, we had all those draft picks just not getting called up, so they decided, you know what, we'll just dominate the AHL. Also, Misa apparently just super good sportsmanship, 4 or 5 years there as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Like I said, I'm super glad this team was actually able to win the Stanley Cup in the end. If you enjoyed the video, leave that thumbs up. I'm thinking too, guys, we get 500 likes on this video, I'll do it again with the USA gold medal winning team. I think that'd be kind of fun to see, how long it takes them. Do they beat Canada's 9 years, or do they take even longer? Obviously, if we get 500 likes, I'll make sure to find out for you guys. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.